Well, welcome to today's Estimator program. Thank you for joining us. We have a very special guest with us today. Don Remillard, I can say that, is with the Douglas County School System, and there's no introduction that's necessary for you. Everyone knows you, Don, and you've been with the school system for many, many years, and the last several years was as superintendent of the school system, and we thank you for all of the hard work that you've done. And when I said many years, I think that's 37, is that correct?
37 and a half. I'll complete my 38th year at the end of this school year.
And for those viewers who do not know, you're resigning, is that?
I am retiring effective May 31st,
okay,
that's correct.
Okay, after 38
right.
years. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, what are you going to do in retirement? Tell us about that.
Oh, well, gosh, I've got two little grandsons that I want to spend more time with, and I've got two more on the way, one due in December and the other in April, so I'm looking forward to that. My wife and I will travel some. I'm an avid tennis player and a beginning golfer, so I think I can fill my day up, and I still expect to be involved in some of the community things that I've been accustomed to working with.
Well, again, we want to thank you for everything that you've done, and I know will continue to do. You're the kind of person that, although you don't have the official title, I know you're still going to be there for whomever would want to call and ask for your assistance and guidance, and we appreciate that also.
You bet. Thank you, Mayor.
And I guess the first question that comes to mind is what process are you going to go through to as you finish your last year? Are you going to be kind of grooming or lining up for that next person, or what's on the horizon?
I hope so. The board's currently just at the beginning stages of a superintendent search, and I do hope that someone is identified in time for me to spend some time with them and work with them, and then we'll just keep doing the business of the school system to the very last day.
And over the last few years, for anyone who doesn't know, and I don't know how they wouldn't know, the business that you've been doing has been a tremendous task. For many years, we had such an exploding community with respect to the number of people that were moving here, which equated to large numbers of students that were attending the school system. So if there's anyone out there that doesn't know much about the Douglas County school system, if you could just take a few minutes and tell us a little bit about it.
Well, we have grown explosively over the years that I've been superintendent. We have almost 25,000 students now enrolled in our schools in kindergarten through 12th grade. Have 32 schools, plus we have a career academy, the CCI, that's located on the campus at West Georgia Technical College here in Douglasville. So, and we've got some innovative programs to address the needs of all of those students.
And how many employees?
We've got probably in the neighborhood of 36 or 3,700 regular employees, and then of course we have lots of substitute teachers and bus drivers who work with us. Mm-hmm. So during the course of the year, we'll have about 4,000 different people who work for us.
Okay. And how many of those are actually full-time teachers?
Probably in the neighborhood of 3,600, 3,650. Teacher-wise, around half of those would be classroom teachers and administrators.
And you mentioned CCI. I know CCI is something that you're very proud of. I'm proud of it. Everyone in our county, I think, is. Just take a few minutes and tell folks about it.
Well, the CCI is an acronym for College and Career Institute. It's what's called a career academy. It's a charter high school, charter meaning that we were able to waive some of the state laws and state rules that might inhibit that program from being successful, but the vast majority of high school students who attend there will receive dual credit. They'll receive college credit from West Georgia Technical College and high school credit for the courses that they're taking there. So by the end of next year, students who've been there 2 years, many of them will have a credential from the college when they graduate along with their high school diploma, and we're really excited about that.
It is. That's such a tremendous benefit to be able to graduate high school basically and have training that's necessary for you to walk out the door and get a job.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about.
And there are other programs like the IB program and some of the other things that really do help our students?
Well, I'm real proud of our Board of Education. Even during these tough economic times in the last 7 or 8 years, they've been willing to work with our staff to create programs like the International Baccalaureate program you mentioned for our highest achieving students, the CCI for those students who are on their career path. We've created the PLC program, which is a program for at-risk high school students. PLC is an acronym for Performance Learning Center, and it's supported by communities and schools of Georgia with some funding from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and some other foundations out there to help students who might not otherwise graduate get on track and graduate and go on about their lives. So we're really happy about that. In addition to that, when I became superintendent, we had one junior ROTC program, a Marine program at Lithia Springs High School, and we desperately wanted all of our high schools to have ROTC programs, and it was really an uphill battle to fight because the federal budget was being cut and there weren't many programs there, but we doggedly worked, and Ed Murray, who was chairman of our board at the time, and the other board members were solidly behind it. So I'm pleased to tell you now we have an Army program at Douglas County High School, an Army program at Alexander High School, and a Navy junior ROTC that just started this year at Chapel Hill High School, and we're delighted with that. It really serves the need of a specific group of students.
It sure does, and you just mentioned those, and that's almost all of our branches of service. I was in the Air Force, so maybe we need to get an Air Force.
If you can help us, we're looking for a program for our new high school that'll open in August of 11. So we've already got our application process going on that, and hopefully Air Force would add another dimension to our ROTC program.
What is the process? What's the process to go through to get a branch of the service ROTC
Well,
program?
you just apply individually with the different branches of service, and then you start working the senators and congressmen and doing everything you can to show a commitment in your community. And ROTC is not just for students who have military careers in mind. That's certainly an important part of it, but it's building character and leadership skills in students. So a number of the students who take the course never join the military, but that's all right
I didn't
too.
know that.
And it's also helpful for us to get students in the military academies for those who are interested in that.
And we've been successful. I know over the last few years we've got some good appointments from here.
Absolutely. We've been very, very thankful for the numbers of students that we've been able to send to our armed forces academies.
Sure. Does the federal government contribute a part of the expense associated with the program, or is
they do. They pay the salary of one of the two instructors, so they pay half the salary of the two instructors, and then they supply the vast majority of supplies and equipment that are used in the program.
Okay, well that is good. Well, you know, occasionally some of our congressmen are in to see us, so I'll mention that to
do that for us
the next time they are, because I didn't know how it, how it was funded or anything like that. And how many schools have you built, say, over the last 5 years or something like that? And we talk a little bit about that.
Okay. We've been building about one a year since 1997. Let me see, since I've been superintendent, we've done Chapel Hill, Bill Arp, Factory Shoals Middle, Mason Creek Middle, Mason Creek Elementary. North Douglas opened the first year I was superintendent, so we've had about...
What does it typically cost to build a high school?
High school's somewhere in the $70 million range.
Wow.
Yeah. And that includes a lot of athletic fields and parking, student parking, and we've been building for in the neighborhood of $100 a square foot, which is pretty good.
That's very good, because y'all been breaking all those schools.
Both the new schools, the Mason Creek Elementary is just under $100. Mason Creek Middle's just a little bit over $100.
You can't build a house for $100 a square foot. That's a good deal.
We've done exceptionally well. We really have.
Don, in all of the years that you've served, I know you've got some fun memories and some things that you'll remember for the rest of your life. Could you tell us a little bit about a few of those?
Well, I'd be happy to. It's hard to narrow it down to specific memories, but I've got a couple. When I first became assistant superintendent, I had been working with high school students and middle school students, but not at all at the elementary, and I had no teaching experience at the elementary level. And one of the first schools I visited was South Douglas Elementary School, and the assistant principal got me by the arm and said, "Come on, I want to show you something." And so we went down the hall, and she called a little girl out in the hall, and told the little girl who I was, and she said, "Sing them your song." And she sang "Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star," and then she gave me a big hug, and I said, there's a whole different world in education outside of the elementary and middle school.
Yeah.
And that was really my first exposure to elementary school, but it's a very pleasant one. And I just love to visit in the elementary schools. Those children are so enthusiastic and so appreciative, and we wish we could bottle it and keep it in them all the way through the high school level. But I guess my other experiences, I look forward to the Superintendent Scholar Awards every year. Each high school recognizes their highest achieving freshmen who have a 3.5 grade point average and good attendance and good behavior. And the transition from middle school to high school is very difficult for some students. And in this group of kids, just excel every year, and it's just such a thrill to me to see those students get off to a good start. And they're really our future leaders. Those are the students who are going to be leaders in their school, going to be leaders in college, and then they're going to come back into the world of work and be the leaders in society. So that's always a thrill. And then graduation every year. How great that is. Yeah. Some of those kids are so excited that they were able to graduate from school. All of them have plans. All of them feel a little bit like I do now. They're real unsure what life's going to be like, even though they have plans. They know they're going to college or in the military, going to work. They're just not sure what it's going to be like. But it is such a thrill to see how happy they are and to see their families who are so excited when they graduate.
Janice served as the chairman of the board for West Central Technical School. Well, it's changed names now. It was West Central Technical School. And I asked her one time, what she enjoyed most about it. And she said participating in graduation of the, all the things that she was able to do. And that was the one thing. And actually, there was one situation where one of her friend's daughters graduated from there. And Janice wasn't going to be there for that particular graduation. So what she did, and you have an option to pick up your diploma and everything, and she waited until Janice was able to be there, and that was real special to her.
Yeah, I bet it was.
And after 37 years in the Douglas County school system, you learned a lot, I know, and a lot of wisdom. You came with a lot of wisdom you developed while you were there. If you had some recommendations for the new superintendent, what would a few of those things be?
Well, I would advise the new superintendent to appreciate the high quality of the staff that we have working in this school system. And, the rubber meets the road with the people who are actually doing the job. So we are not a staff where someone needs to crack the whip. They need that support to help them get done what they need to be doing. And my advice to them would be just be a people person. Be someone that the staff could look to for leadership, but also look to for support. And I think it's equally important that the superintendent be active in the community. A community must support their school system. This community has been a huge supporter of this school system since I came here in 1972. And I don't think a school system can be successful without having that kind of community support. So I think that's a key to it.
Well, good. All they have to do is just follow your leadership because you were involved from day one in the community. And where I go, I see you. I know that.
That's true.
Don, I know in the number of years you've been in the school system, and especially in your leadership role, there probably were a lot of challenges along the way. Some bumps in the road. We always have those. I wonder if you would want to kind of reminisce a little bit and tell us about some of those and how you handled them.
Well, of course, obviously now we're facing budget challenges with the downturn in the economy. The state agencies are no longer able to provide the funding that we've been accustomed to. So we're having to work with that. But it's not the first time I've seen it. When you stay around long enough, we've been through several recessions. In fact, when I started teaching at Douglas County High School in 1972, the budget for supplies was almost nothing. The commercial bank in Douglas County supplied a lot of the supplies, the staples and staplers and folders and pencils and things for teachers to use. And as I recall, quality instruction was going on in Douglas County, and we've got plenty of leaders in our community who attended schools back in those days and went on to have very successful careers. Over the years, we've seen it come and go. Salaries at that time were very low. Salaries for our teachers now are competitive with what you might find out in the business world, so that's a good thing. And we'll survive this temporary downturn in the economy, and we'll still be okay. Teachers, I've found, are very, very creative. If they've got the things they'd like to have to teach, they are stellar teachers.
Sure.
If they don't have them, they go to the garbage can and pull things out and still are stellar teachers. So we'll get past this economic downturn, and this school system will prosper as we always have during the interim.
Well, it is a tough challenge. It's a tough challenge today for all of the governments. The school system, I know you and I serve on the Board of Health together, and it seems like at all of our meetings, we're talking about the state cuts and how we're going to handle those things. So, you know, none of us are insulated from that. And I worked for the federal government for many, many years, and I can remember going through those cycles of not having a budget at all for any office supplies.
Yeah.
And somehow we still prosecuted folks and put the bad guys in jail. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and we'll survive as well.
Well, I would like to end today's program the way we started, by thanking you for your many, many years of service. You will certainly be missed. None of us know how you're going to be missed until you're gone. But today, as you're nearing your retirement, I envy you. I look forward. I've retired, but you know, I spend almost all my time still working, and so I'm looking forward to that also, and I wish you the very best.
Thank you, Mayor. It's my pleasure.